yes, I'm not suited up, and it's late getting this review up, so I decided to dress down today, so. But still, How I Met Your Mother just wrapped, so I need to talk about that. Spoiler alert, this review is going to have some major spoilers in it, and I know some people were not happy with the final, but I personally was satisfied with it, but I recognize why some people were not happy with it, so I'm going to touch on the positives and the negatives of it. Now, Season 8 ended with us, the audience, getting a first look at who the mother is. When we saw that, we, the audience, was like, sweet, so the ninth season, it's going to be all about Ted and the mother meeting and watching their relationship grow. Now, Season 8 ended with everyone going to Robin and Barney's wedding. And we, the audience, took that as the first couple of episodes of Season 9 are going to take place at Robin and Barney's wedding. That is where Ted will meet the mother, and then after that, the whole season is just going to be about Ted and the mother. No, last summer it was revealed to us that the entire season is going to take place on this one weekend for the wedding. When I first heard that, I was like, I'm not sure that's the best way to go about this, but hey, I gave it the benefit of the doubt, though. But then I went on Wikipedia and I saw that the 200th episode is called How Your Mother Met Me, and I was like, okay, so the 200th episode, like they had the 100th episode, but the 200th episode is where Ted will finally meet the mother. Then after that, the rest of the season is going to be about Ted and the mother. You watch the episode, and that episode tells what the mother was doing during those 8 years as the gang was out doing all their shenanigans. No, they still didn't meet. For the sake of the mother, I appreciate that they showed what she did during those 8 years. But still hasn't met Ted? Come on with that shit. Instead, we're stuck with learning more about the mother and her and Ted's relationship in a series of flash forwards in all these non-linear episodes. While the whole season was about Robin and Barney's wedding, which was cool to a certain degree, but it would have been even more cool if either A, the first couple of episodes take place at Robin and Barney's wedding, and then Ted finally meets the mother at the wedding, and then the rest of the season is all about Ted and the mother. Or B, the 200th episode is where Ted finally meets the mother, and then the rest of the season after that is going to be all about Ted and the mother. But instead, they gave us all these non-linear episodes that wasn't really needed. Now, with all that being said, the season was still good, and I can't believe it's done. It was just cool to see Ted's journey in meeting the mother. At a point, you will revisit previous seasons, and once you really start to think about it, you'll realize that everything leading up to this moment, everything really does add up to how Ted finally meets the mother. Trust me, I thought about it for months and really tried to piece everything together. When I finished, I was like, they must have had an outline of everything they wanted to happen. Like, they must have had an outline of everything they want to happen in each season to lead up to Ted finally meeting the mother. It was just so cool for a group of writers, a whole production crew, and one of the most solid casts that just works to just bring that to life in a more realistic and grounded in reality kind of way. One of the things I liked about the show is that they have the mother meet everyone else first before she meets Ted. She met Lily on the train, that was awesome. She actually met Barney first in the store. Barney's hitting on girls and then he tries to hit on her, but then she's not having it, and then ultimately she makes Barney realizes that he's still in love with Robin, and so he makes the final play where he proposes to her. And ultimately, that pretty much sets Barney straight initially. That was awesome. She met Marshall and baby Marvin while he was hitchhiking, and that was awesome. She met Marshall and Lily in the midst of them moving to Italy, but then Marshall got accepted to be a judge, and ultimately, Lily and Marshall get in a huge argument. They make up for a while, but then it's revealed that Lily is pregnant with their second child. After this, Marshall patches his shit up with Lily, and then they decide to go to Italy. That was awesome. I really do like this season, though I do feel it's imperfect, but it was still good. Usually with the season, you're like, I really did like the season, except for those couple of episodes. I'll admit, it had a couple of episodes where I was like, I guess that was filler, but even the filler episodes were entertaining. And this season had a whole lot of callbacks to previous seasons. Everyone knew on the show while working on it, they knew, that thing that happened a couple seasons ago, it's relevant to now. One of my other favorite things about this season is, though, while it is set in one weekend, it kept me guessing until the end. I was satisfied with the season for the most part, but I swear, it's like this show took me to church every Monday at 8 o'clock. Getting back to the mother meeting everyone else, I knew Robin would be the very last person that she would meet before meeting Ted. Near the end of Season 8, Robin is looking for this locket that she buried when she was young. Ultimately, she can't find the locket. She starts panicking and wondering if Barney is the right person she should be marrying, and Ted comes to console her. Ted tells Lily about the whole thing in hopes of there ever being hope for Ted and Robin being together. Lily tells Ted that he had the locket the whole time, but in this season it was revealed that the locket was misplaced, so he had to went through 3 of his ex-girlfriends to find it. Long story short, he finds the locket. Quick side note, I like the fact that we got to see some of Ted's ex-girlfriends one last time. Like, we saw Stella, Victoria, and Jeanette. And we even got to see some of the side characters one last time. Like, they had a whole episode dedicated to most of the side characters. At the end of it, they reviewed what happened to all the side characters after Ted met the mother. And that was awesome. Back to Ted and Robin. Ted gave Barney the locket and told him to lie to Robin and pass it off as if Barney found the locket. But Robin figured it out that Ted actually found the locket. In the second half of the season, Ted still has feelings for Robin, but then he learns to finally let her go. And just minutes before the wedding, it really shows that Barney lied to her, and she admits that she should be with Ted. And Ted admits, finally hear her say that it didn't really mean anything. At that point, Ted has truly moved on. Long story short, Robin runs away, and then she runs into the mother. The mother calms Robin down, and she takes a deep breath and closes her eyes, and she opens, and then there's Barney. Barney vows to never lie to her again, and Barney admits that Ted found the locket. And finally, they get married. That right there was a great episode. And then the finale happened. Now, this is a finale that's gonna, like, divide the fans, and either you're gonna roll with it, or you're just not going to roll with it. First off, let me just say that I like the fact that this finale had a whole bunch of callbacks to previous seasons. Like, they had the game Have You Met Ted? They had Robots vs. Wrestlers, the Halloween Party with the Slutty Pumpkin, and all the catchphrases. They said, like, legend, wait for it, dairy. But looking back on it now, it was like, was it really necessary? I feel like with this finale, they spent too much time trying to shoehorn all the running gags and callbacks to previous seasons that it kind of diluted the finale a little bit. Another thing I like is how the season took place at a wedding, but then when you get to the finale, we get a whole bunch of flash forwards and time jumps, explaining what everyone did after Barney and Robin got married. Like Marshall and Lily. Easy. They come home from Italy a couple years later. Lily's pregnant with baby number 3. Marshall finally becomes a judge. Marshall runs for state Supreme Court, and boom, that's the end for them. At this point, Ted and the mother hold off on their marriage for a couple of years. They have 2 children, in which earlier in the season, their kids' names were finally revealed to be Penny and Luke. But one of the 2 things that happened that make the fans go, what? After 3 years, Barney and Robin get divorced. Why is that controversial? Is because for an entire season, it was all about Barney and Robin getting married. And to review in the season finale that they got divorced, that is slapping the characters and the fans in the face. But to be honest, I never really thought that Barney and Robin would really work out anyway. It's like in season 5, when they dated for a while, and then after a while they kind of got tired of each other. That's how I felt about them. If they can't even get it together while they're dating, what makes you think they can get it together as a married couple? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying. But even I, when they said that they got divorced, even I was a little baffled by it. But one of my favorite scenes is when Lily and Robin are talking. She's dissatisfied with where she's at right now. I mean, while her career is taking off right now, everyone else has a good life. Like Marsha and Lily, they're on baby number 3, and their lives are good, and they're about to move out. Barney, he pretty much slips back into his old ways and starts hitting on girls and young chicks and all that. Robin realized that she should be with Ted, but instead he's with the mother of his children. I get it. Everyone else has a pretty good life, but she doesn't, and she wishes she had that. Now again, Barney ends up slipping back into his old ways, but then he ends up knocking a girl up. Now this here is my favorite moment in the finale. Barney holds his infant daughter for the first time. He says to her, "You are the love of my life. Everything I have, everything that I am, is yours forever." I can kind of relate to that, because I have a friend who's kind of like Barney, and he's always messing around with girls. And we keep trying to tell him, if you keep messing around like this, you're going to end up having a daughter, and then you're going to think about all the times you messed around with girls. I like that, because it's the most realistic way to set Barney. It's not the woman of his dreams. It's holding your infant child in your arms and realizing, oh shit, if I don't change my ways, my infant daughter, she's going to grow up to chase after men like me. Such a great scene. Okay, I know, don't worry. I'm gonna get to the so-called lost ending here in a bit. But getting back to Ted and the mother, though, long story short, they finally get married. Robin is reunited with the gang, but it is revealed that the mother died of some sickness. I know some people speculated that the mother would end up dying, but I kinda saw it coming from a mile away. Now, initially, it sucks that she died, but it's still a great ending to Ted's journey. Then they finally flash back to Ted finally meeting the mother. And her name is finally revealed, and it is Tracy McConnell. TM. Go figure. And that right there was the perfect ending. And you would think the show would end right there. But no, it didn't. Alright, now here's the so-called lost ending. Alright, so Future Ted is no longer voiced by Bob Saget. It is now voiced by Josh Radnor, playing his future self. And he finally ends the story of telling his kids how he met their mother. And the kids tell him it was never really about how he met their mother. It was really about how much Ted loves their Aunt Robin. They gave him approval of this, and so he rushes to her house where Robin has a whole bunch of dogs like she had at the beginning of the show, and he presents her with the blue French horn like he had at the beginning of the show. And then the show finally ends. The reason fans are upset with this is because we were under the impression that Ted and Robin were never going to be together, and that they were not perfect for each other. And the fact that they just scrapped that whole mother or Tracy aspect of the show, that is a giant middle finger to the fans. I personally understand why they did this though. I know a lot of people hated this final, but I thought it was heartbreaking but perfect. Ted and Robin never really let each other go throughout the series, but they weren't compatible for each other yet. They had to go through their own personal journeys, get to a point where a relationship between them would work. Robin was thinking about Ted right up until her wedding, when she had her talk with Tracy. Ted let her go and fell head over heels for Tracy, and was able to be truly happy with Tracy and to get everything he truly wanted, while Robin got to live her dream life. Tracy died, and that's really sad, but Ted mourned her for 6 years. The kids help him realize that after all he's been through, Robin is still his one, and the kids love her too, which makes it even more perfect. Ted and Robin got fulfillment out of life and feel like nothing can hold them back, like they did before. This means that they can truly be happy together without wondering what else is out there. Depending on how old and mature you are, you might understand. But if you don't and you want the show to live up to its name, I understand. But personally, I like this finale because it did what a TV show finale should do, and that is give closure to the characters. And I felt that this finale did that. Ted got happiness, Robin in the end achieved happiness, Marshall and Lily got their closure, and Barney, I felt like he really did achieve redemption. I'm gonna be honest, How I Met Your Mother is one of the best sitcoms put on television, period. I know someone's probably going to be like, what about Everyone Loves Raymond or Friends? Well, I said one of, alright? To leave some room for some other shows, alright? And I know it feels like I've shitted on this season more than I wanted to, but my biggest gripe about Season 9 is the format and structure of the show, which is the entire season took place on a wedding. So therefore we got all these non-linear episodes. I will say How I Met Your Mother Season 9 is an A average. But the show as a whole, I'm really glad I caught it before it ended. I love the show. I loved everyone that was in How I Met Your Mother. Great job writers, great job directors, great job to anyone that was in the production aspect of the show. Great job Josh Radnor, Jason Segel, Kobe Smulders, Neil Patrick Harris, Allison Hennigan, Kristen Milotti, and everyone that was ever in How I Met Your Mother. And like I said before, the show How I Met Your Mother is an A++. It's the end of an era. I have no more episodes of How I Met Your Mother. That's it for the day. You like what you see, you want to see more, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my other channel. The links are in the description below. And be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. And be sure to check out my website. Peace.